Steph.
Yes.
Yes, that music's terrible. We need to get that shit changed.
So brutal. Well, why don't you want to? Yeah, I feel like when we start off, you should play your theme song. Don't you feel like?
Oh, you want that?
Yeah, I think you should play your song.
Let me get that ready for you. I think it's this one. I wasn't prepared for that.
Okay, it's okay. You get ready.
No, not that one.
Okay, no, you get ready. Hold on. I was just going to say, first of all, welcome everybody to the first Fireside Chat with Rocksteady.
Thank you, crew.
We are so excited to have this Fireside Chat with Rocksteady. So we're going to dive into it, but I do think his theme music I think we should do the...
You want it?
Yeah, I think we should do it.
You got it. Here we go. There we go. You're lucky.
All night long.
Cut it there. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
I know, right? You have to have the theme song. Well, everybody, welcome to this Fireside Chat with Rocksteady, who is a relatively newer creator here on Fireside. And really quickly, I think many of us on this platform have completely fallen in love with him. Rock, you have not only do you produce just a really broad variety of content here, but you have so integrated into the community here on Fireside. And what's remarkable to me is I feel like you could be that guy who walks into a room of 2,000 people from every walk of life, religion, faith, color, creed, interest, and everybody would love you. I feel like you have this amazing gift of meeting people where they are at and not the other way around. And pulling out what's interesting about people without judgment. I feel like that's another superpower of yours. Like you walk up to people with no judgment. You know, you're just, I'm here. I'm interested in you. Who are you? Like you just have a really unique ability to do that. And so I want to talk, first of all, really happy you're here on Fireside. Love the content that you're creating.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you, Steph. Thanks for such a warm welcome. I really appreciate the kind words. It's quite a nice thing to hear about yourself. And you're right. I do go into things with no judgment because everyone's an individual. Everyone brings different things to the table. It doesn't mean I don't like people. If someone's an asshole, they're an asshole to me.
For
it doesn't
sure.
matter what color, religion, or anything they're from.
Right.
You know, that's the difference. So, but first and foremost, and I will do this again through the show if you don't mind, is that I want to give a special shout out to my people here from Stereo, the people that are here that have really helped form what's come about today, because there's a unit of people here behind the scenes that support, that have worked together for a long time over in Stereo to come over to Fireside here. We've together gone through almost like the wars in a place like that to really find our feet on how we can work together. So special thank you. There's a whole bunch of them here, so I really appreciate that. And I'm going to give a shout out again a little bit later when a couple more are still dropping into the room. So thank you so much.
For sure. Of course. So, and by the way, everybody in the audience, we're really happy that you're here too. We hope you love it here. This is the jet plane for creators, and we are taking off. And this is going to be honestly the most amazing thing y'all have ever experienced. And there's so much more coming. So we are happy that you're here, but I would love to dive into who the hell are you? because
Sure.
Everybody here really has come to love you. Everybody here adores you. You are so happy to help, to provide expertise, to provide guidance. And you're, by the way, I want to do a really quick plug. The show that you did on Sunday, Shotgun Candy,
Yep.
with AC and Elvis, talking about strange addictions and interesting. I'm going to tell y'all, I was having to slap makeup on my face because I had a show that morning and I had to actually get the hell out of the show because I couldn't get my makeup on because I was laughing so hard. I was jabbing in my eye and because that show was absolutely, it was so good.
It was hot.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing just thinking about it. I mean, and Elvis was on fire. Like, I feel like that was a moment where and he kept coming. It was fantastic. And it's funny because I can tell like the three of you have really found you've kind of found your way, right? Was that your sixth episode?
Sixth episode. And as I said to the boys, it always takes 3 or 4 to get into things sometimes,
Right.
With whatever shows you're starting, even if you've got chemistry before, but then it lands like that one did, and it's off and running. So
It landed. It was awesome. It was so good. It was so good. So I would love to talk more, and this is a great time for me to ask a question because it's dog o'clock again, because that's what it looks like. Rock, I really am curious. I mean, you're in Australia, right? I'm obviously in the United States. And I would love to know, because we've never had this conversation before. We've never talked about you and kind of your history and what led you from growing up as a little boy, wherever that was. I'd love to know all of that. But then what led you into this whole creator thing? And then obviously something you landed on and loved because you're killing it. So who are you and where'd you come from? And what led you to here?
Okay, so I'm from Perth, Western Australia. So raised predominantly Italian family here in Perth, and as I grew up and left school, I really didn't know what I wanted to be. It's such a hard decision when you leave school to think about what career you're going to do, and all these sort of regular, normal jobs just bore me to tears. I get scared. I get scared about what life might be sometimes, right? But there's things you have to do it. You got to do it. You got to provide. You got to grow yourself in your life and get ahead. But I've always been looking at things outside of the regular, whether it be just taking on challenges and trying to master whatever it might be, because it's stimulating for me. Rather, not so much about a passion in certain industries that I've tried before, but rather I'm sometimes driven by spite. So someone's like, you can't do that. I'm like, beautiful. All right, you think that? Let me prove you wrong, motherfucker. So I like doing that along the way too. So what kind of led to the podcast world though was I'm married to a Thai national. So we went and lived in Thailand. We had our kids there. I was there for 6 years. And the thing is that it's really difficult as a foreigner over in a third world Asian country to even, you're a second class citizen, first of all, but to even just earn a living there, surprisingly, it's tough. I ended up coming up with the concept of sensory deprivation tank, where you we build it. It's a float tank, so you get into the tank with a buddy of mine, Tank, who might be listening here now. I'm not sure; it's pretty late in the UK, but and we had this business that we started. Now I was running out of money over there so bad because I couldn't make a living. I think 18 months into me being there, I was like ready to have to go back to Australia, and I did not want to do that at all costs. So that was the real point where I was like, nothing was going to stop me, and to the point where people helping build this tank were just slacking off, not doing it properly, so and so. So I took over myself. I just said, fuck it, I'm doing it myself to get the job done. I had $300 left, I think, before the end of this trip. I couldn't even afford tickets for me and my family to get home.
Now, Rock, how long ago was this? So it's 2022. Now it's the first quarter of
2015.
Okay, so this is 2015, and you are down to your last dollar.
$300 or so, yeah.
And so here you go.
I've got a kid and a wife, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like, but what at all costs, didn't want to come back to Australia. Had to stay there. I'd moved my life there. That again was a failure. If I had to pack up and come home.
Got it.
So we put this tank into a shop on a street that was really unique. It's like a mile long with all different Muay Thai camps. People training from UFC would go there for their mixed martial arts camps, healthy eating, all just health kick stuff. So it was the perfect for foreigners around the world to come and train. We put this float tank in a shop, and it just took off. And we did really well with this shop. It was the first one in Thailand as well.
Wow.
We built this business up. My wife, my business partner, Steve Wilson, which is Tankalicious. He should be listening back to this if he's not here now. And we kicked ass on the street. We got like a name then, like, it's business owners there. And from there, we started to build this business. I think we ended up selling it for a good profit after. But in the meantime, we made connections with so many people that were fighters on the street, and they'd all come to Thailand to train.
Yep.
And then fly off to wherever their fights were. There was no mixed martial arts fights in Thailand. So I said to Tank, like, why don't we try and start our own fight promotion? He says, what the fuck do we know about starting a fight promotion? I'm like, I don't know, but let's just write it down. Let's
Figure
make
it
a
out.
plan. Let's have a look, right? So we did that. We ended up having one of the biggest, besides one championship, one of the biggest, most successful mixed martial arts events that happened in Thailand. It was a mixed martial arts event called Primal FC. It was on the beach at Paradise Beach. It was just gorgeous with a full moon party straight after. It was a big hit. There's videos on the internet about it. And that was one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life, because there was my business partner, Steve, and my wife and myself running this whole thing. It was massive. I ended up speaking to the moving and shaking part of me, turned around and got investors to put some money into it as well to kick this whole thing off. We got heaps of sponsorship in kind at the time. I was getting like $30,000 venues for me working back then for nothing.
Okay, so wait,
for free.
Rock, stop 1 second. So let me, because there's so much here. This is really interesting. So you're down to your last dollar. The float tank thing takes off, and then somebody wanted to acquire it, or you were trying to sell it.
So in the end, we sold it, but this fight promotion happened before we sold it. So
okay, so your business was still happening, and you said this is a place where people come to train and then they leave. So what would it look like if people came to train and they stayed?
So there was fighters.
Like, what was that vision? Yeah. How did? And by the way, this is actually a business question, because it also tells me that as an entrepreneur, knowing that the only way you were going to be able to stay now, you're married, you've got a child, and you had to figure it out financially. And so you came up with this idea, you attacked it, people were failing you, so you just went all in. This business is now running along and it's successful. What did you see when you thought about, well, this is a place people train, but then they leave? What were you envisioning? Like, what were you, was this going to be like a carnival? Like, what, tell me what you were thinking about. And was it going to generate money, which I'm assuming that's the point of it, right?
That was the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're talking about the fight promotion over the float tank place. So the whole area predominantly was a tourist area, but it was for like long-term tourists. Some people would stay for a month. Some people would stay for a year. So you had this time period of people staying because they'd try and make their fight career somewhere else, but it was cheap to stay in Thailand with all the best training and cheap food and all the facilities that you needed. So we would try and capture the people that were living there for this period of time, and some would pass through quickly, of course. Some would stay longer, of course, as well than a year. But that was the sort of demographics. It wasn't like a 9-day holiday goer that was passing through Phuket. So in building those relationships through the float tank, because so many fighters were coming through and we're listening to them coming to train, there was no place for them to come and fight. So you had the guys that were staying for a year or 2 or 6 months that were still trying to get 1 or 2 fights under their belt to get looked at another promotion. And they didn't have that, or they'd have to fly to another country to get it. So why not provide that here in Phuket, where we were in an absolute it was God's country. I mean, we're talking blue waters, white beaches, hot weather, coconuts everywhere. It's just a gorgeous place to have a facility and event for them to fight as well as a party at the same time. Is something that was such a different concept. UFC wasn't doing it then. They've done it since. It was just something completely brand new. So
the idea was to have it be a place where you could actually do fights, where people would then, I'm just guessing, buy tickets to the fight.
Yes.
Right? Fighters would do their thing. But you also then, I'm imagining if you were running this, then you had to hire people, I'm assuming, right? So you had to hire, is that true? I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah.
If you were building infrastructure for events, for parties, for fights, so you had to build this from the ground up because it didn't exist.
So we built it from the ground up. It did not exist. We did approach someone who was a veteran in the game who turned out to be extremely narcissistic as a partner at the time. So we had to part ways because it was just all about him when it was Tank and myself's concept that we come up with, that we actually brought him into it and everything. And he tried to sweep it under our feet kind of thing. We were a little bit naive with business at the time. So we tried to hold our ground there. But the whole concept was to bring people in, events, run them regularly in Phuket. Then the holiday goers that would be there for that 9 days in the main tourist area could still hit a full moon party and watch some fights, which was something that was different. People there drinking on the beach, parties, music, they had body paint. I mean, it was pretty wild. But
it was successful. People were loving it.
So this is the thing. So what we sort of figured to do was to run this one event and package that up as a pilot show that we'd send out to different distributors around the world to pick up this program and fund us to do more, right? So that was kind of it was like a 2-year plan first, right? As for hiring staff, Stephanie, that whole event up until 2 weeks before was put together just by the three of us, my wife, and so we were, to give people an idea, we would go to work in the morning at our float tank shop. I had no family or anything to help support over in Thailand, nor my wife's family was up north, so nor did my buddy Steve, so his family was from the UK. So we'd go to work. My wife would look after my son, so we're taking our kid to work. He was like 2 or something at the time, 2 years old. She's trying to handle the business at the tank. We're stopping to deal with customers. As soon as they're in the tank, we're back at the drawing board all day, then getting home all night. And we'd sleep maybe 4 hours a night. And in that 4 hours, we'd be waking up because we're so stressed in the lead up to this fight. It was so much work. So if you're going to do something in that industry, you've got to love it, which I didn't love it. I didn't love that. I just want to successfully build this promotion. Right. Anyway, it was a hit on that night. My God, it was great. We had crowds of people. It was awesome. We've got the footage again on the internet, but in a long-term plan of leaving that and then trying to get funding from investors, literally, instead of taking 2 years, it went over to 3 years. That the plan went over to 3 as we're trying to get the investors on board. We had someone interested to sign just over $6 million US to fund these events for several years, but then COVID hit and kind of wiped that away. Since COVID hit, UFC started Fight Island, which was a similar concept like that. Right. That's completely gone now. It's done. Yeah. So lucky for that guy, he didn't sign that line just before that. Yeah.
Life is so interesting. So wait, okay. So after that, obviously it was a really successful event. Then COVID hits. So are you all still in Thailand at this point?
Yeah. So there's a little lead up to that as well, Steph. So as the success from that event, we end up putting our float tank shop up for sale because we wanted to focus on the event. So we did do that and we sold it for a good profit. Okay. And there was probably a 3 or 4 month period where we're working with Primal FC, but I was so itchy to do something because I like to keep moving and doing things. As you could probably see, creating content and stuff.
Got that.
So, you got it. Is that I said to my buddy Steve and my wife, listen, I want to start a brand here in Phuket. The tattoo industry is extremely competitive and profitable in a place like that with tourism. I want to start a new brand, call it Inked in Asia, and we can start to pepper some shops out from one studio to another, and we can build this around Asia. We can start to film the process, how we start with budget money and we move into it, and we can start to film a program where the camera's coming into the shop, filming someone who's getting tattooed, filming their holiday a little bit. So it's got travel, it's got a bit of food, it's got the artists and the hardships they've gone through, what they've done, just a whole story. And then it jumps to the next shop, and we can do it Inked in Asia. And my buddy Steve, because he's the pessimist, I'm the optimist. We're opposite. We make like the yin yang, together we're perfect. Yeah. And he thinks I'm fucking mad. He's like, you're fucking mad, but he's still all in when we do it. And we work so well together. I wish he was listening now. I know it's late in the UK, but he'll catch this again. But man, I love you, bro. You are the best. Like, you're more than a brother, more than a friend to me. But we created this brand, Inked in Asia, and just to give you an idea, just in it must be a square mile of the tourist industry, there's about 80 tattoo shops, and it's extremely competitive. Yeah. So we went in with no name, and we built it up. After 6 months, we were able to get our second studio, and within 12 months, we were ranked number 3. And so 18 months in, we had the thing flowing really well. So we had Inked in Asia up on the board. My friend Kaylee Dovelet, who's on Fireside here too, she'll vouch that it just popped up out of nowhere, like people suggesting Inked in Asia, which was great. We were so happy about that. We spent a lot of money on marketing. It taught me a lot about understanding how to market from Primal FC over to Inked in Asia, which is what I've carried over to Fireside here for podcasting. But and so that was running really well. So we decided to come back to Australia because my son was hitting 5 years old, that we'd settled down now. I didn't have to work. I could just work part-time. We're in a good financial position. And I was just going to do something part-time here. I spend time with the kids. It's like finally all the hard work had paid off. Then we come back to Australia, and 2 weeks later, COVID hit.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh God. So are you how did you take that? And when we say when COVID hit, there was the first lockdown. It's like, it's going to be 2 weeks. Then it was like, well, it's going to be 3 weeks. Well, it might be like 2 months. What are you thinking now? Because you've been hustling hard, and to your credit, successfully. But like every entrepreneur in the world, you hit some good times and some bad times, and then you hustle. And because of your hard work, it paid off. But then things happen like a pandemic, totally out of your control. What are you thinking then? And what did you do then?
Sure. We didn't foresee the long-term effects of COVID, of course. So there was shutdown and hoping it was going to pass. I could see that. I didn't think it was going to end real quick.
Yeah.
I could see the virus building as we were starting to pack our things up. The virus had hit in January. We were aware of it in January, and we were planning to come back end of February, which we did. So as we're selling things and it went from China over to Thailand was the next one, it hit. My wife starts saying we should hold back on going back because she was scared that till it passed. I said, let's bring it forward because I can see this thing going crazy.
Yeah.
So actually it was March we were supposed to come back, and we came back a little bit before end of February, February 26th. And that's when it really all happened. So when there was lockdown, when we got back to Australia, that was great because we came back to my parents' house. I hadn't seen them for so long, so we got to spend all this time with them through lockdown. But in the meantime, business is shut in Phuket. All events are shut for Primal FC. And we're just like, it went into 2 months, 3 months. Rent still has to be paid. And because we'd built so fast, it hadn't built a float yet because we were reinvesting into the building. That started to hurt. And my buddy Tank starts saying, we got to shut down. And I didn't want to let it go because to me, that was like failure. And I didn't want to let it go, but the right financial decision was to do that. So we held on a little bit longer. I think we held in 3 months into the pandemic, realizing that there was no clear. It's literally just opened up, I think, like last month or month before over there. So we would have held on for nearly 2 years.
Right.
And it was impossible to do. So we had to shut the brand down. And now I didn't care about the money as much as I cared about the death of the brand. So I cared about that more. I wanted that to live on and to at least go somewhere or something. But unfortunately, it was the way it was. Now, when it comes to money and finances, I'm not someone that holds a lot of value in money. I don't really care. It's not something that affects me. I was more affected about the security of the future of my family, that we'd built this up. And it's like we're in this great position now, finally. It's taken years to do that. But that's all gone now. So that was the concerning part. But whereas my wife took the financial hit more, so my partner was a bit cut about it, but he was pretty good. A lot of people will come up and say, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I'm like, that's okay. Like I'm okay with it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. It's weird. I don't know. I should be a lot more cut about it, but I'm just not. So, that's the way it turned out. So I had to end up reverting back to going on the tools like handyman. So that's what I used to do many years ago. And with the pandemic on, there was so much work in our particular state because we were in lockdown and we didn't have COVID, so people couldn't travel. So they were spending a lot of time and money on their houses.
Right.
So it was a booming industry. So I'm like, I've got to get back into this right now and catch the fuck up on what we've lost here, because we've lost a fortune. We've lost everything. It was like financial slate zero. It's like, it was hard to take too, but okay, I'm accepting that. And we went on from there.
So you were able to recoup in terms of that was actually a booming industry for you to go back into. And I can appreciate the blood, sweat, equity, and the identification in that thing that you built and having to say goodbye to that. And I think people sometimes say, well, it's a business that it's been really hard, but when it's really something that your story about how you got to that, that's a loss. That's a death. That's literally a death. And that's really hard. But the construction industry was booming. And so were you able to then sort of, okay, we're going to be fine again. We're recouping. And did you get to a place where you were okay again?
No, not really. So we're talking about pandemic hit, it was really locked down in March. It was about July when everything was in the process of really getting shut down from the shop. And I realized now there was no second income anymore, or income that I could bring a second income in. So I started to hit the tools and hit them hard. So like anything I do, I don't just semi do it. I call it a problem. I like hyper focus on shit, and I just can't stop myself, and I get right into it.
Yeah, you do.
So I started doing some hours. I started really trying to catch up on some hours, trying to just put money back away in the bank. And And again, we were growing. It wasn't too bad. It was okay. I wouldn't say it was where I wanted to be. And of course, we had a lot of catch up to do. So from that point, because I think stress started kicking in, all those old feelings about living in Australia, why I left in the first place, those bills that build up, those it might be a traffic fine or whatever it is, right? Those just life problems in the Western world that we're actually blessed to have. They all started creeping back. You feel like you're caught back in the rat race. Whereas over in Thailand, where you've got to hustle every day or you won't eat, that was still like a freedom feeling for some reason. So being back here, my diet started to slip. My health started to slip. I wasn't even realizing it. My time with my family was slipping. I was losing connection with my kids more because I was more focused on work and not home. Whereas my other jobs, I could be home with the kids. These ones I couldn't. So
sure,
that started to take a hold. That went for about 12 months.
So you had a health issue. And I guess on a relative basis, it's recent, but you had a health issue. You and I kind of touched on this a while ago, and I said, yeah, I'd love to chat more about what happened. And I'm guessing this had to do with a combination of stress and, this cha-cha you were in, which is you'd get ahead, you were okay financially, then you'd get knocked over, then you'd be okay. And now, to your point, you're working really hard. Your relationships are struggling. Of course they are, because you're working all the time and you're exhausted. And it's hard when you have little kids because they need a lot and they're busy.
And they demand, and you haven't got the patience either, right?
Right. And it requires patience and it requires, oh, honey, it's okay. And you're like, I don't have anything left. So from what you and I talked about recently, you had a heart attack. Tell me about what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So again, working my ass off at the time, and still really couldn't probably get properly ahead. So that was what was making it worse. There was for whatever reason a little lull a couple of weeks before this situation. The weather was changing. Maybe I think I had some outdoor jobs I couldn't quite do. So I was home. I was home a bit more than normal. I was like never really home in the day, and I was just so fucking tired, like really tired. And I thought because I've been working, I'm burnt out, and I was sleeping, and my wife's going, she's like, you're sleeping so much. I'm like, I know. It was really bizarre. And she's like, something's wrong here. I'm like, I just burnt out. I was at my mum's house one Monday. My mum and dad's having dinner with the family, and I just finished dessert, and I just felt like a pain in my chest. Wasn't too bad, but it was enough to make me doing this. And my dad's like, what's wrong? I said, I just got a pain here. He said, you sure you're not having a heart attack? I said, no, because I thought a heart attack would, it's this heart attack, you drop dead, but that went on. I got home. It was kind of a bit worse. I took an aspirin, like a strong aspirin, because instead of taking paracetamol, I heard that aspirin will thin your blood if you have a heart attack. Just in the odd case it was, but never really thinking it was. Took that, laid down, went to sleep. Was all right when I woke up. After breakfast, came back again. I was throughout the day, on and off throughout the day. So that was Monday night, Tuesday. They were getting a bit worse. My wife's going to hospital. I thought I'd be a Viking and push through it. But
of course you did.
I was. Yeah.
Rock, were you having, I'm just curious, I can't help it, this is the medical part of me. Were you having any other symptoms other than that pressure and that pain? What else?
I was without realizing. Yeah. I was having shortness of breath.
Tell me about that. So shortness of breath, you were noticing that. And were you having any pain in your arm? Were you having any weakness? No. So shortness of breath, exhausted, and this pressure, this pain.
Exhausted, chest pain. That was really it. There was nothing more. Again, not thinking it was a heart attack. The chest pain started getting a little bit more, and it felt like each time it was getting worse, and it felt like someone stretching your skin more and more each time, like it was expanding more or something.
Okay.
Without realizing that's the artery stretching, by the way, because of the blockage, right? So,
exactly. And how many days are you at now? You're 2 or 3 days of these symptoms?
So that started Monday night. I'm in on Tuesday. I still didn't go to the doctors or the hospital. Wednesday morning I woke up. It was still bad, and my wife saying go to hospital. So I said I'll book the doctor. I'll go to the doctor.
Wow, you are tough. Okay, so I'll just do a regular doctor appointment. Okay. Oh my God.
That was for like 12:30, I think it was, and then.
So you got in that day. That went. So we're at Wednesday now.
Luckily.
Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday. Luckily, because they're normally a day or two booked ahead, right? So But it hit about 11 o'clock. I went to go have a shower before the doctors, and it was just really bad, really bad. I came out, I sort of collapsed on the bed and composed myself, and once I was at a point where I was okay, we got in the car, drove to the doctors. By the time I got there, I was okay, but I said I've been having chest pains. They rushed me straight through, hooked me up on the machine.
Yeah.
They go, everything looks fine. And
oh my God.
They took me to the actual doctor. She said, so we've done it. She goes, we're giving you a blood test. We've got to wait for the results. She goes, it could be heartburn, indigestion. She goes, you might be having an angina attack, or it could be some fluid around the lungs. So here's some tablets. Go home.
God.
If it gets worse, go to the hospital.
So, Rock, did they? I'm sorry for interrupting. Did they do
Wednesday.
some physicians' offices have a smaller EKG machine?
Yeah.
So they hooked you up, and relative to what they saw, no AFib, there was nothing else. They said, no, you look, oh my God, and you got sent home. Okay.
That's the scary part, right? Yeah. It's like it looked fine and went home. Like you.
It's so that Viking in you. Even your body's being an asshole. You're like, we're fine.
My heart was being a bitch, and I just took over it. So I got home. Then I had a really bad attack, to the point I didn't have my phone with me. It was still in the like kitchen area, and I was in the front bedroom laying down. My wife was at the back of the house with the kids, watching TV, and this attack happened. I couldn't get up. I was trying to shout to my wife,
and you couldn't call out to her.
I couldn't call out loud enough.
Oh God.
I was shut shallow breaths, and I felt myself fading a bit, just fading from the shortness of breath. And I still didn't think I was dying, but I thought I was going to pass out. The pain was quite bad. That went for about 45 minutes, and then it stopped, and I got enough energy to get up and get my phone and go lie down near them in case it happened again. And my brother called my phone. He's like, what are you doing? I said, just feeling. He goes, you sound like shit, man. He says, I'm telling Dad to pick you up, take you to the hospital. So
how far away does Dad live from you at this point?
10 minutes away.
Okay.
He's 10 minutes up the road.
How long did it take him to get there?
Probably 15 minutes.
He was hauling ass.
Left, yeah, straight out. Not realized it's a heart attack, I think, but straight out, like, there's a problem. Let's get there.
Okay.
Pick me up.
And your wife doesn't know, right? Because she's still in the back with the kids. So does she not know?
Oh, I went near them at the time, but so she didn't know how bad that attack was. She just knew I've been going through this.
Okay.
Still,
Okay.
So she was happy my dad was coming to
so
pick me up.
She knew that your dad was on his way. She knew that. Okay.
Yeah, we got ready to go hospital then. Yeah. And as I'm walking from the car to the emergency, I had another attack where I couldn't move anymore. So they actually got a wheelchair out to me and wheelchaired me in, got me straight through. They were fantastic. Took another blood test and everything. And as they took that blood test, the phone rings and the doctor says, where are you? I said, I'm at the hospital. She said, good, because you've been having heart attacks. So she confirmed it after the blood test that she got back. So that was the heart attack. And I was there for a few days. They gave me a angiogram and put a stent in my heart. And
so you did get a stent. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you have a history of any heart disease in your family?
My grandmother, my mum's side, did, and I wasn't really aware of it until all of this. That high cholesterol, and she used to have angina attacks. It's in the family, so I was surprised, and I vaguely remember when I was a kid things happening. But yeah, that was confirmation that I should have been a lot more careful than what I was. But by the way, that the man Steve Tank that I was talking about before has just dropped in the room, so it's probably like 2 a.m. Tank, welcome, man. We've just been finished talking about the tank, about the float tank.
Well, and I'd be happy to have him up to say hello to you, but I wanted to ask, it's interesting for those of you in the audience. By the way, we turned the sound effects off just to get through this conversation. I'll turn it back on. But, this is really a great lesson. Knowing your medical history and the medical history of your parents and their parents and your parents, sisters and brothers. I mean, it actually does matter. There are things that are directly inherited, and there are some things that you can sometimes get around depending on what it is through good nutrition and diet and exercise, but sometimes you can't. And so always know wherever you can, know whatever history you can that can become important.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just have to say that.
No, you're right. So right.
So you have a stent put in. Your wife must be absolutely petrified at this point. I can't even imagine what's going through her head as her husband.
Sometimes I think she's happy and hoping I'm going to go, but other times I know she misses me. So
you must be something else to be married to. can't even imagine. You're such a pain in the ass. I say this with love in my heart, by the way. I just mean I could see you fighting through like, I'm fine. I could just see like, if this doesn't take you out, I will. But we're obviously happy that you live to see another day. But sure. So what came out of that is that you have an awareness now that there is a genetic thing you need to pay attention to. And from a care perspective, is it like, this kind of this stuff is kind of what drives me nuts right now, right? Like we're still living in a really stressful time. And my favorite line is when doctors go, you just need to relax more. I'm like,
how can I relax more?
Like, don't tell me. I'm like, help me. Like, okay, cool. Like you want to come over and take care of everything for me? Like it kind of pisses me off. But the point is this actually is a serious question. So after that, when I say what learnings came out of that, did you ever feel, Rock, during all of these events, did you ever remember what you're like, I'm going to die? Like I am going to die, and have those moments of like, how are my wife and kids going to take care? Like, were you sort of at that point where you're like, I'm a dead man, or did that not happen to you? Did you not reach that point where you felt like
every single day, I wake up and I'm scared about what happened. When the doctor told me I had a heart attack, my dad was next to me at the hospital, and they explained to me how it happens, how they can measure it and stuff. And then she left, and I said to my dad, had a heart attack. Shit, my dad couldn't believe it. And it was fine, but then it was the point where when I thought about my family and if my kids had no dad,
right?
Like it would be hard for my wife, but my kids no father.
That's right.
At their young age was the tough part, and that after we had lost so much already that I had left them nothing anymore. It was through no fault of my own, I know, but you still feel like you failed, and the importance of family was always there, but it was heightened at that point forth, and the value that I didn't really put into money before was heightened to the point where it's like it was so nothing, and although we need finances to move on, it was like I couldn't give a shit about cash or money. I want to give good memories to my family. That was so important for me. So from that point forth, it was really about doing the things that you love, which I always try to do anyway, but really trying to do the things that you love. Leaving a legacy behind is an important thing. And that's where I was doing podcasting before on an app stereo and mucking around with so many of these people, these beautiful people here, which I want to give a shout out soon if we can. But it was like time to take it serious. That's where I turned around and really created Rocksteady interviews from that point forth to like.
Y'all can clap for him. Let's clap for him. Go ahead and give him the applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys. God, I love you guys so much.
They love you too. They love you too. So
there's a couple of messages there. I should just read out here.
Please.
Natalie, she said, played a Rocksteady show to walk my friends through how to use Fireside and went, oh, you need to hear this voice. Thanks for being part of our road trip. Thank you, Natalie. John Kapos, Chocolate Johnny. Everyone who's got to give these guys a follow too, by the way. West Australia was hit so heavily with COVID and they were locked down for so long, so no one could go into the state, which is true. And we've got Dave Watson, damn rock, now I know why you're wearing those glasses. No, Dave, I'm wearing them because I'm cool, not because I'm a bitch. All right, thank you very much.
You learned nothing.
Real Skinny, love you, my brother, from another mother down under. And Mark, hello, my brother, it's Thunder. Thanks for joining, Thunder. Thank you. Thank you, Skinny.
So, and y'all, I feel like a god. You can hear them and then not hear them. Ha ha ha. I'm kidding. Fear me. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to get back. I know that John Kapos had his own certainly story with the lockdown from a business perspective, but so you come home and you are recovering and you're feeling vulnerable and you're probably feeling scared and you're probably feeling like, shit, what if this happens again? Like, yeah. And did you go through a period where you felt frozen? Like, did you feel like, oh shit, if I get stressed, I might have a heart attack, or if I overwork? I mean, how were you trying to metabolize this to move forward? Did the doctors say, hey, listen, it went well, you're going to be fine, do the following things and you're going to be fine, you're young, you're strong? I mean, what kind of a talk did you get with a physician who you have obviously you had a surgeon, you had nurses, and then you had probably a regular physician that came in to check on you during the hospital. So what was the feedback that you were getting following that surgery? What messages were you getting from the healthcare professionals that were caring for you in the hospital?
So it was really a change of lifestyle was the main thing. Just to answer the first part of that question, I felt fragile for a very long period of time. Fragile. It didn't mean I couldn't pick up the same weight that I could have picked up before, but I felt like if I did it, it just was just hurting every bit of my being. Like it was just weird. I didn't feel in pain, but it just felt exasperating. And now I was really tired and still short of breath for quite a while. I had to take a few months off work to recover, first of all. So from that, my business kind of tapered right off. So I was self-employed doing the handyman work on the tools, right? So that kind of tapered right off. It ended up being nearly 4 months I had to take off because I still wasn't right.
Yeah.
They had to change medications for me because that was a massive effect of what was draining me, making me tired, shortness of breath.
The side effects for some of that yeah.
Oh my God. It just rocks your body. Like that rocks your body.
Yeah.
And they've changed and made some tweaks now to make it like acceptable. I still feel tired and stuff, but it was mainly change of lifestyle. So I was a smoker as well.
Mm-hmm,
so quitting smoking, huge thing. Definitely helps. Diet as well. Trying to, I'm not completely stopped, but I'm not trying to go completely vegetarian either, but I'm trying to cut out pretty much all meats. This is based off one of the podcasts I did with Raymond Palmer, who's a scientist about anti-aging. His whole results from the studies that he's done about cutting meat out for longevity of life is huge, and how it benefits for your heart. So I'm trying to follow his advice there.
Are you eating fish or chicken, or are you doing any?
I'm keeping fish.
Okay.
No, I'm keeping fish. Like, I mean, you got to understand one thing. My dad was a butcher when I was growing up, so we'd eat meat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, we're just meat eaters, like carnivores, like you know.
Yeah.
But so that was a hard thing to cut meat out, and I will still have fish, and maybe if my wife makes a stir fry, it's got a bit of chicken in it. But I'll try and avoid that meal. But if that's all there is, I'll just eat it anyway, and that's how much I've cut down from pretty much having steak, meat a couple of times a day, you know, to almost nothing now. So,
and I'm sure they're monitoring your cholesterol. I'm sure. Are you doing regular blood work? And how are you doing, by the way?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better now. So, just getting. So it's only been, I think, 7 or 8 months since that procedure. So I'm just at the stage where I've got to start seeing cardiologists again now, and going on from there. But I'm feeling good. I'm really. I've got to say that I feel blessed to have come across this world with these people and this community.
Aww.
Because it's been a driver for me to connect and vent and talk about all sorts of situations, particularly on the other app before. It's how I met so many of these people and connected with these people here. And thank you. I'm going to give you guys a shout out in a sec with each of your names. I need to do that. It keeps moving up and down. It's like difficult to see.
We're going to have to ask them to hold still when it's time to call them out. We're going to have to ask them to hold still.
But it was that point where I had to stay home and recover as well, and the realization of what's important. And one of the things important for me was understanding that I'd lost a couple of businesses through COVID. You know, my tattoo shops and the event never got to eventuate. It's out of my control, but what's in my control are the words that I speak, are the connections that I make. And if it can be done in a structure like this with podcasting, I find it important to get information, knowledge, conversations out there about people's lives, about benefits for people and so forth like that. So I really focused on that. And that's why I'm hyper focused on this world. It's something I love. It's something I missed out saying before about when I was in Phuket with Tank. We used to, we tried to set up a little podcast thing a couple of times. Back then there was no apps or platforms to do it on how to spread it out properly. And we didn't have an understanding of it. So we've got probably a dozen episodes recorded, right, Tank, that are just sitting there somewhere with some people we spoke. I'd like to go back and listen to that now compared to now. But
sure.
Anyway, this is coming to eventuate to this point, and I just love it. And I think what I love so much as well as the stimulating conversations are the connections with the people involved here. Like there's a whole bunch of people I can pull from the crowd right now and just get into an awesome conversation with because they're amazing people.
And it sounds to me like okay, Viking, hang in there with me. It sounds to me like you are appreciating connection in a different way. Because Rock, I feel like you're like a little kid brother that I need to smack around every once in a while. Like there is something wonderful about you. And I mean that if I tell you I want to smack you around, that means I love you. It's
Tell me again, Steph. That's how much you want to smack me around because you love me. Don't call me a little brother again, please, if you can help it.
This song is forever going to be our theme song.
There we go.
But the way that you connect with people feels so honest. And I think sometimes that type of connection comes or that longing for, or that natural immediately connecting with people that way comes from moments where we go, oh shit, I'm mortal. And in one more night of a good night's sleep, I might have not woken up. I mean, we don't get out of this life alive, number one. And we don't get out of this life without pain, fear, joy, losses, wins. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about how we show up, because this life can suck. Y'all, how much this last 2 years has sucked. This last 2 years has been.
People say that, but you know what? I've had a fucking great time.
No, and good. And by the way, and you know what? Good. I'm glad. And I feel like, I've certainly had my moments, but it did suck. I didn't have a heart attack. And so I feel like hard things happen, but not that. And I guess what I wanted to ask you, and then we're going to come up to sort of you now and then looking forward, but there's so many things for me knowing you a little bit that are sort of resonating with me, that make sense to me, because you get joy from connecting with people and interviewing them. Like you get joy from that. You genuinely are, when you have an interview, you are with that person you are talking to. You are bringing your whole self. You're not distracted. You're not thinking about other shit. Like you are all in. And that's a gift. And I can see where that would come from. How is your wife doing today after all this that you've been through and being afraid that you might be gone? And how are you looking at those kids now? It sounds like there was this moment of, oh shit, like they need me. How has that changed when you do see your kids? Like what has this done for your family, your relationship with your family? Tell me about that. Okay. I'm guessing there was a transformation.
Yeah. So there's a few parts there. So first of all, with the interviews part, you're right. Like if I'm doing the comedy show with the boys, which is Elvis, Keith Burr, Joey Butts, or if I'm doing Shotgun Candy with AC and Elvis, I can still kick back, and if there's a message comes on my phone, I can glance at it and read it if I have to. But if I'm doing the interviews, one-on-one connection with somebody, I can't turn around and look at my phone. I don't want it to break my concentration. I really will get distracted from the depth of what I'm trying to connect with the person. So you're absolutely right. I am there in the moment, just like we're talking right now, like we're talking to each other, and I don't want to distract that. It's rude and it's not real if we do that. Now, as for the heart attack part with life-changing, my wife is Thai, and Thais are extremely stoic people as a culture. So we're not the typical couple that goes walking down the street holding hands saying, I love you, babe. We're not like that, right? We show love in very different ways. It's really about being there for each other, a respectful way, helping each other out is showing that connection. That's sort of the way that she understands it more. So I, again, step up to where she wants to be seen. Right. I'm a little bit more like, need to hear it verbal, but I understand, right? It's like, especially with the language barrier, saying Pomrak na in Thai doesn't mean shit for us, right? But it's like, I love you in Thai. Yeah. But if she says it in English, it's like she's saying it, but this is why we have to
I understand.
dance around it a little bit. Yeah. So for her to express affection, she would do it in those ways. And when the heart attack happens, I could see it all in her eyes without her saying it, all in her eyes when she looks at me and when she talks to me, and the things that she's done for me to help change lifestyle, and tells me off if I'm not doing it right. If I lit up a cigarette, if I'm going to eat shit, she'll be down my throat about it, but because she cares, it's a loving way. Now, as for my kids are difficult kids. I think there's something going on with, I thought both of them before. I think my son's coming quite good. I didn't know if he was slightly maybe Asperger's or something, because he's like extremely intelligent, but wasn't able to connect socially properly with people. But he's either overcome that or he was struggling because of the move from Thailand to Australia. But he's on a good track now.
Good.
Yeah. Whereas my daughter, she was so young when we moved here. She was 9 months, and so she knows no different. But she's way behind. We're taking her to speech therapy. I have a feeling she's got autistic tendencies there. She's almost 3. She doesn't really speak. She still babbles, but she understands things. She's clever with some things. So we're trying to figure out. So that was difficult, and I feel more of a need to have to be there for my children in the way that the stoicness that my wife has. Now, she's not stoic to our kids. She still cares about them, but with the Western way that they're growing up with here, I feel like I have to step into ways that she doesn't understand, right? So she'll do things the Thai way, and it's important for them to know that too, for if they cross over there. So I have a bit more of a responsibility than normal, as well as they're so young, and I have to do some of the things over here that my wife doesn't understand, with phone calls to organizing things for the kids with school or whatever, because of the language barrier as well.
Definitely.
So there's a bit more responsibility. Yeah. So it's this responsibility to have to be there for my kids, and the connection is strong. They're both really like they're daddy's boy and daddy's girl, and also they mummy's boy and mummy's girl for other things as well. But like I think compared to some fathers, they lean on me a little bit more in certain aspects where they'd probably lean on their mother,
I do. And can we just give a shout out to how important fathers are? Can we give a shout out to how important you men are? Can we?
Thank you.
Can we? I swear, I feel like sometimes we live in this culture that gets really defensive, like, oh, we're fine. Like, I had a mom, I'm fine. And it's like, yeah, like, I'm happy you did. But like, men, y'all, we need you. Like, men are really important. Fathers are really, really important. Huh?
Yeah. Likewise, as a couple, men and women together as a couple, parents together are important, and some people don't get the blessing of that all the way through their life.
No question.
Yeah.
But the point is, right, is that because of what you went through, you've really stepped in and up, and that relationship with your kids. Can you not tell? Like, you're like, yeah, my son and my daughter, they're both daddies. You know what I mean? Because you're there and you're present. And that's everything. We get one shot in this parent thing. We get one shot. You know what I mean? And we're going to screw up because we're human. Like we just are. We're going to do stupid shit, and then we're going to apologize for it. I think that's the most important thing. But it's a legacy that we live. That's what we do. Like that's a huge part of our legacy. So that is the good that came out of it. And it also sounds like you're under medical supervision. They're paying attention, and it sounds like you get it, and you're going to do the things you need to do. And you're not going to be perfect about that either. And that's okay too. Right.
Sure.
It's like,
in any aspect. Right.
Right. I mean, it's never about striving for perfection. Right. I feel like it's an 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time, knock it out of the park. 20%,
that's right.
If you're a little bit of, have fun. 20%. Negotiate with the doctor. 20%.
Look that way. That's right.
Turn around and look the other way. But what I'd love to, God, you have this community of people that absolutely love you. I
love them, and this is that time. Stop the stopping,
please.
Stop the emojis.
So everybody,
shout out, but
if you guys can,
down, it's going to be confusing.
All right, everybody. We actually need you to be silent and don't clap still. Or move, because now I think you're each going to get individual hellos. So just freeze. Go ahead.
All right,
Rock.
so I'm going to give a shout out to these guys, because you guys are the reason why this happens. You guys are the reason why how I've gotten to Fireside and have been building this community. It's the support from you guys. I want to bring you guys with me everywhere we're going. I want you guys to be successes as well. Some of you are getting on here. Some of you are doing that, and that's just amazing. So I'm really happy for it. And I'm going to give a shout out to the audience. Okay, so we've got Tyrone. Tyrone, thank you for joining. We've got Bryce. Thanks for coming in, man. Sarah. We've got Core. We've got Stefan. We've got Kaven. Is it Kaver? Sorry, I don't know that. Kaver. I can't pronounce that one. But we've got Jenny, Malika, Leo, Daniel, Hans, Isidro, Peter, Tankalicious, David, Lolly, Video Girl. We've got M Spectacular, Natalie, Brianna, Charlie, Wendy. Thanks for coming. Sammy, how you doing? Jill, Demetrius, Truthful Sweet. She's just in every single show. Thank you, darling. Anthony, we've got John Kapos, Paul Vardo, Deborah, we've got Mark, which is Thunder, Keith Burr, Red Rosa, Shani, we've got Sexy Reds, which is Beth, Elvis the King, the Real Skinny, Zoe, we've got Tyne Hagon Brother, Uncle Eddie, Julie, Dave. Thank you for joining us in this show. We really appreciate it. Now, these people are the special people around me. These other people you need to follow and follow each other. I'm sure you do. But for any noobs that don't know who these people are, they are amazing people, and they are slowly working their way onto Fireside and going to be content creators if they're not already. And we're going to shake this shit up here, baby.
I love it. I love it. I love that so much. First of all, thank you for, I really appreciate you sharing that. I think all of these things are significant windows into things that shape us and that really do make us who we are. And I think these are some pretty defining moments. And then your ass shows up on Fireside, and we're like, who the fuck is Rocksteady? Like, who is this guy? And because you showed up, like you said, like the Joe Rogan of Australia, right? You wrestled crocodiles, and I was looking at you like, I feel like he probably does, actually. I feel like I'm like, yep, I'm pretty sure he does. And we just adore you. We could not, you already feel like family. Everybody you have brought with you feels like family. I just think it's incredible that all of this love that you've been giving out is coming back at you tenfold. And I think it speaks to sorry to stop, Wendy. Wendy just put in the chat, Steph said, fuck. That's totally fair. That's true. Wendy, you're right. I'm
going to read all these messages in a second. I'm going to read them out.
Okay,
like
I just started
there, I think.
Wendy adores you as well, and so I just want to make sure, and I'm going to let you read all Wendy. Of that. But we are going to move into, but we can take a pause because I think there's potentially some people who have left you messages, and if you want to take a pause for any of that, then I want you to take it away here, and then we'll head on to the creator part of Rocksteady. Okay.
So the beautiful thing about what we've got together today and on other shows is that I've got a Rodecaster Pro, which is just an amazing bit of kit, and I can accept messages from people that want to drop messages to my Instagram and leave a 1-minute voicemail. So one person that I've just glanced over and seen is Chuck. Chuck is someone who I met on Stereo as well. I've got to say Chuck has been one of the forefront supporters and friends of mine through this whole journey from the start. He's an Android user, so he's not here on this app, but he watches the shows via a browser and he leaves messages through Instagram. So here is a message from Chuck. Man, I love you before you even start to say this message, but here we go.
Hey, Rock. Kind of on Stephanie's note of, you seeming like the kind of person that you could just drop into any situation and talk to people. I think I remember, I had mentioned to you before that, you and I, we met through social audio, and, we live in such vastly different worlds that even if we lived in the same town, there's a pretty decent chance that we may never. And yeah, man, I'm thankful to have met you as a friend. And remember what Kaylee said about your Viking heart attack, that you only get to Valhalla by dying in battle, not from dying from a bitch-ass heart.
It's true. The story behind that, Steph, is that I was messaging Chuck. I speak with Chuck nearly every day, especially back then. And I I had these chest pains. And I said, oh, in case you don't hear from me today, I've been having chest pains. I've got to go check doctor out. He's like, get to the fucking hospital, man. Like, what are you fucking waiting for, dude? And I was like, I'm just trying to be a Viking. And then that's when Katie said, you know, to be a Viking, you got to die in battle, not of a bitch ass heart. So that literally
point
came
taken.
that way.
God,
Chuck, I love you, man. Thank you. And he's right. Like we're kind of on different ends of the spectrum in life in a lot of ways, but yet right in the same point when we connect in other ways. So it's an amazing friend. Thank you, Chuck.
That's awesome.
He's always there for you too. So we have a couple more, I think. So we've got, let me check. Dave, maybe? No, that's just some text. Okay, sorry, because I'm normally keeping up as I go. Here we go. We've got Mark's message.
Rock, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. I'm going to keep your family in my prayers. Man, I love you. You're my brother from Australia, and I always think about you, my friend.
Aww.
Thanks, Thunder. Appreciate that, my brother. Thank you very much, man. All right. And I'll just quickly read out these messages before we go into what you were going to ask there, Steph. How far back do they go here? Okay, so
There's a lot of love there.
Better from Laura. There we go. So thank you for your grateful and better. Stay healthy. Thank you very much, Laura. John, mate, what a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it. I've fallen in love with you even more now. And yes, the glasses are cool. You can never be a bitch. Thanks, Johnny. Box of chocolate coming my way. All right, Paul Vardo.
Aww.
I just want to know what that great intro music from the mid-16th century was. I have no idea what you're talking about, Paul Vardo. Who is Paul Vardo? He's a legend. All right, we've got Dave Watson. Rocksteady, you're an amazing man with an amazing story. Thank you, Stephanie, for this podcast. Rocksteady, see how many people effing love you. Thank you, Dave. I love you too. By the way, brand new featured Firesider, Dave, which is on behalf of Dave and Sam as well. Our featured Firesiders here on Fireside. So what a legend. Give him a clap up for that. Okay, Johnny, less chocolate for me. I didn't mean that, mate. My heart's fine. Send a box. Wendy, I am speechless, Rock. Thank you, Wendy. Here's the king, one of my best friends in the world. I remember Rock's heart attack. It shook me up a little. It moved me. Remember what I told you, Rocky. If you die, I'm coming down to Australia and I'm going to kill you. I love you, brother. He did say that.
I love that.
Because if you die of a heart attack, I'll fucking kill you.
I love that.
Paul Vardo, maybe stepbrother. Elvis the King, you can smack me around anytime, Stephanie. That was for you from Elvis. John Kapos.
Thank you, baby.
Go to Dad's. Thanks, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Paul Vardo, manpower. Wendy, Steph said, fuck, that's right, she did. And Skinny said, that was some real hot cussing. We're one more. Real Skinny, definitely love you, brother. And yes, Steph, love you too. So there we go. Those messages coming in. So thank you very much. And you had something you were going to ask then, Steph.
I did. I just wanted to, we'll just move to this last part, maybe a little faster. I was really curious about kind of your history, but you're kind of knocking it out of the park from a creator marketing perspective. Like, you create the most amazing, graphics, and the way that you're using Instagram and the way that you're using social media, it's remarkable. I mean, you're a case study in creating, not only are you your own brand, but you're your own brand living in these different shows. And it's remarkable. And what's amazing about it is I feel like someone like me, because it's like, this is what you get. It's not cool. I don't have glasses. I don't have a theme song. And so I feel like, but I feel like you're so unique as an individual creator, but then you have these different, you still are able to create these different, while keeping true to who you are, these very different things within these different shows, right? There's sort of the you who really loves to interview and do these one-on-one conversations. And then there's Shotgun Candy, which is just its own thing. I feel like I'm going to see you guys on tour. I don't know. I think something's going on with that one. I almost want to be like, I almost want to call a couple of promoters and go, let's just try. Let's find an auditorium. I feel like it's going to work. I feel like it's going to work. Can you see Elvis like lit up from behind in the middle with the big, with the couch, and then you're in the car? I'm like, I can actually see it on stage. I can see this whole thing. I can. But you are oddly, you're pretty new-ish to the creator space, but you're kind of knocking it out of the park. So I think some of this has to do with that grit, and you're living back in Thailand, and you're going to figure out these sensory deprivation
Formula.
tanks, and then you're going to do
Oh,
and so I feel like you have this thing where you see things and you see the business, you can see how you're going to do it, you can see the customer base for it, and it looks like you're kind of applying that same thing into this space now as a creator. So will you fast forward? I know that you were a creator on Stereo. I know that's where you met many of these people. I hadn't heard of it, of course, because I'm just not that cool. And then you and then you showed up on Fireside. But what are you looking at now with this sort of Rocksteady brand, and where are you taking this? Because you're working your ass off too. I mean, you're creating a lot of content.
Sure. So yeah, it's a bit of a loaded question where it wants to go. So I know exactly what I want out of this. I know the track. I have a 5-year plan from once I hit a particular milestone. That's when it's game on. So it's not even game on yet. The reason I'm doing such a vast amount of content is because I can be diverse in my conversations. Like you said, I'm not judgmental. So it's easy for me to sit in conversations and get involved. There's a couple of subjects I refuse to get involved in because I think that they always stop short, and it's particular people that you're only able to discuss these subjects with, and I might not have enough of an understanding of. Besides that, I'll get into nearly anything. If I had it my way, I'd just stick with the interviews. I love the interviews, connecting with people, just different stories that I hear or see. I'd like to speak to that person, so I'll reach out and I'll try and connect with them. I'm lucky enough to get an interview with them. And a lot of the other podcasts that I do with the diversity is actually to bring my friends into this and showcase them as well, and do something with them for our time to connect and hang out, as well as show off their talents as well. That's what this is about for me. So I have so many ideas in my head. I've got a dozen shows that I just can't get out. I physically haven't got the time to do it. If I had some sort of funding or assistance where I could just create, holy shit, you'll see some magic stuff happen. But right now I can't do everything. I'm not an acrobat. I'm not an octopus. I've only got 2 hands, right? So that's with that particular style. Now, where the Rocksteady sort of brand came from, it was a name that came up and kind of, as I was doing the interviews, it developed. It wasn't really started to be called the Rocksteady podcast. It was started to be called, there was no name for the podcast really. It was just more titled like, I forget what I first had it called now, but
okay.
Someone can help me out there. But it was connecting with people anyway to bring their conversations to others on Stereo. But since then, the Rocksteady podcast has come out. Now, I guess I kind of had this target to create content. My end goal is to actually be getting paid with sponsors, doing this full time like a job.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say full time, I mean day and night, man. I sleep, and it's because I love this so much. It's really a field or a game that I'm happy to be in. And it doesn't feel like work. It's such an amazing thing. Like I'm on 24/7. Like when I switch off this, I don't switch off and go about my day. I go about my day with this in my mind. Everyone can see that I've got headphones in constantly, right? And I might be working, or my wife's talking to me. I'm going, yeah, but I'm listening to the show. And I'm going, yeah. She's like, yeah, what? And I'm like, yeah. I don't know what's going on. I'm here, and I'm trying to think. That's why it's always on, right? Like literally, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and I have to write it down and I go back to sleep because it must be going on in my dreams. I don't know, but that's because of the passion for it.
So you're a creative at heart. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I mean, you are in your heart. You are actually you're very creative. And although I think everything you did in the past is creative, I think being an entrepreneur requires creativity. I mean, you were trying to make something out of nothing, and you did it. You did it twice, and you're doing it again, I would argue, right now. You are.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Everything that you are doing is honestly, it's amazing. And what I notice about you, and we talked about this before, is that even with Shotgun Candy, which is it's funny and it's fun, you are treating each show that you are doing as a business. I mean, there is a purpose, and while you let it free flow, you've got a purpose behind it. You've got a beginning, a middle, and an end in every show that you're doing. And your creative represents that very professional business aspect of it, even if the content is humor or it seems like it's off the cuff. It's very purposeful. And I think you've struck a great balance, Rock, of structuring your shows in a way that can be unstructured, but ultimately there's a structure and there's a purpose behind the content, and it's clear. And so you are, you're a pro, and followed up by the fact that you have people who really, really are following you because they love you and they love your content. And I think for many content creators, building that community can feel tricky. But you've put in the work. I mean, you've done it. And so your people have found you, and you found your people, and that base of people is growing. It's growing, it's expanding, it's widening. And I just know that at this point, I did want to invite, we're coming up, I would say I'd give about another 20 minutes, but I did want to invite, if there's anybody who is in the audience at this point that would like to join and ask him a question or just make a comment, I would welcome that. We've got about 15 minutes left. If anybody would like to join, you are more than welcome to. And if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine too. But I just know, Rock, I consider you, I definitely consider you a friend. I consider you someone that I'm really happy that you're here. And I know there's going to be wonderful, wonderful things ahead. But I would like to join Breathy Dude to the stage. I'm kidding. Your mic is hot. It's cool.
Just before we do, I just want to quickly just catch up on some messages and
please.
So we've got Chuck, who said "Strangers to Friends" that's what it was called before the episodes I started. I forgot. We've got Dave, who sent a message here.
Hey, Rocksteady. Hey, you got the married couple here. I am Dave, and of course, my beautiful wife.
Sam, I am.
Yeah, we didn't think we were doing voice messages today because Stephanie's running the show, and we know how much she hates them. But you know what? She didn't follow me right away, so whatever.
Oh, geez.
I know, right?
Geez.
Rocksteady. Rock is a perfect name for you because you are the rock. Dude, you completely hold everything together. There is a reason this is going to be the biggest show on Fireside and the biggest show at all, because everybody fucking loves you, brother.
We do. We love you
so much.
Thank you,
I tell you what, lead us anywhere. We will freaking follow. We're here for you.
always.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you.
Love you guys too. Thank you so much. And they said that always, and they've been some massive supporters from the start to become friends, to become fellow Firesiders and fellow featured Firesiders. I'm so happy with the journey that they've taken with their show. How was your day on every Wednesday evening, by the way, guys? It's a hell of a show, so tune into that. We've got Tyne Whiskers here next. Let's see what he's got to say.
You're the man, dude. Great show. Love hearing you. Love what you're doing. I'll support you all the time.
Thank you, Tyne. Great guy, man. I'm so glad you're here, man. Appreciate you joining up on Fireside to follow along here. We've got my boy, the King. Here we go.
What's going on, Stephanie? What's going on, Rocksteady? Man, your first one was the interview show was called Strangers to Friends.
That's the one.
That's right. And before that, we had the Alpha Male show.
That's
with
right.
Me and you. And I was going to bring all my crew, What's going on, dude? It's going to be there, too. All right. I was going to be there. Who else was coming? Johnny? Well, yes, that's correct. I was going to show up also. And I think, who else was going to be there? One more. Oh, yeah. You know it, baby. Cream of the crop was going to rise to the top. We still got world domination in our eyes. And now we got it on the Fireside app. Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby. Elvis is a vocal acrobat. He is a man of like 27 characters, I'm telling you. And I can't wait to get each of them out here on Fireside. So you've only seen a couple. All right. We've got one more from Mark, and then we've got some text messages.
Rock, I love your shows. You know that. But sometimes I wish I had the guts to do a show like you. And maybe someday I can do a show with you guys and talk about how I used to see and now I'm blind. And I'm going to have surgery where I can see again. I'll talk to you later, brother. Love you. God bless you.
Yeah, brother. Thank you for that. And let's do that. I know you've got surgery coming up real soon.
Wow.
So I've been following your story. So when you do, let's get you on that show and let's talk about that whole situation. I'd love to, Mark. Appreciate that, man. That's thunder from Stereo, everyone. We've got 7 messages here real quick. Okay, so Skinny. Oh, but But you do, Steph, you do have your own thing going on. Just saying that, Stephanie. Okay, sorry, that's Skinny. And Skinny's also said, haha, she thinks it's cool to be on stereo. I don't know who that was about. Elvis, Rocksteady and the boys are here for the long haul. We're riding this thing till the wheels fall off. And I know that's true. Thank you very much, King. Peachy Lee, peace and blessings to all I can help you create, brother. Real Skinny, Rock brother, you are the Joe Rogan of Fireside. And actually, I'd rather listen to you. Just saying. Thanks, Skinny.
Me too.
It's just the accent. So, okay. Throwing it to you, Steph.
I'm speechless. You are creating a community around. Are we calling you is it the Howard Stern or the Joe Rogan or I don't know. I feel like you should just be the Rocksteady. You're the Rocksteady of Fireside. You're the Rocksteady.
Thank you very much.
You got your own category, baby. So
that's what I'm looking for.
we certainly have people on stage here who wanted to make a comment, and in order, look, y'all, I feel like I know we've got Keith, we have Natalie, and we have Pete. Is it Pichu? I don't want to ruin your name. Okay.
Yeah, Pichu.
So just go for it, y'all.
Oh, who wants to speak? Throw it to you,
she
Keith.
said she wanted to go in order, so I don't want to just jump in.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Well, I guess
we're gonna. There you go. Perfect. I was gonna say somebody just go ahead.
We're not animals. We live in a society, but we got to go at some point. Rockman, for you to build a band together, such a group of misfits like myself, Elvis. Well, you fit right in with us, and have confidence in us, and ask us for advice on what you're doing. I mean, it's great. You have humility. You have trust. I mean, you're just a good dude, and that's in rare. It's really in.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you, brother.
And I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I hope I can help you out in the future still, man.
Amazing.
Absolutely, man. You, of course, we do the comedy show with Keith. We're just taking a couple of weeks break because we're just reshuffling the structure in that particular show, and we're going to be back again real soon. So people ask you, what's going on with it? It's not gone. It's just getting restructured, and with time and everything, it will be back. Don't worry. And I'm glad that there's people actually wanting to know about the comedy show. We'll have prank calls. We'll have the whole lot. So thank you very much.
I love it. That's awesome.
Wait to get them out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Who wanted to go next at the Rocksteady Love Fest?
Okay. I think I was second in the.
Okay, girl. How you doing?
All right. I just had a moment to be cheesy. When I got onto Fireside for the first time to do my first show, I went into that green room, and the two of you were the first people that I talked to first on this.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes. So now, in my mind and in my heart, the two of you are my bookends for my comfort level and my confidence on Fireside. And it doesn't matter if it's on my show or someone else's show. If one of the two of you is in the room, I'm like, this is a good place to be.
Oh, this is a great place to be. And we love you. I loved your show today, too. You're creating great content here.
I was listening to your show, but I had to get ready for this one. So I was trying to catch what I could. So well done. I'm glad to see you getting on and doing your thing here.
Thank you. And thank you so much. I just messaged Steph. I was like, you're like the big sister of Fireside. And that means, Rock, you're the big brother of Fireside.
See, we're related.
That's how we honestly feel
about it.
about
We're related. That kind of messes things up a little bit. But that's okay. We'll get into things a little bit later. We'll work it out, Steph.
Okay.
But I love the two of you. This was a great way to end my
love you, too. I love it. I love it. Great show today, Natalie. Well done. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Okay, who was next there?
Hey, Rock.
Sammy.
It's Sam.
How are you?
What? When you get one of us, you get both of us. Dave's here too.
Yeah, here I am. I can't help it. Rock, we love you so damn much. And Stephanie.
Yeah.
Great interview.
Great interview.
Oh.
You made him cry worse than Sam did.
Yeah. I had
No, that's a great podcast. And Rock, really, I get you called all of us out earlier, but if you look down and just see the following that's down here, brother, it's not because, and don't get me wrong, Sam will say it, we'll follow you to where?
the promised land.
Yeah, we'll follow you anywhere, but there's a reason we'll follow you, brother, and there's a reason everyone here is going to follow you. You are that man. You are deserving. You're one of my best friends, and I've never met you. And that's silly to say, but I mean it, brother.
I appreciate that so much. I actually wrote a message out to my stereo crew here and said, if you can try and make this show, it would mean a lot. And the fact that everyone's turning up and hanging around is just phenomenal. I really do appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, this is all nothing. And, you hear people say, oh, it's nothing without the fans and stuff when they do like their music stars and stuff. You think sometimes, it's true, but do they mean it? But it's legitimate without the fan base around. When I say fan base, I still include that as friends. I still include it as supporters or listeners.
Sure.
What's the point? Like I could never do a pre-recorded podcast now. I like the live activity and you're seeing who's there.
Yeah.
You can quirk jokes to specific people. It's just amazing. Like guys, you are it all. You're it all. There was a show, just real quick, sorry, a little while ago. There was a guest, I won't say who it was. It was had a bit of attitude in the lead up to the show. And I didn't know if they were going to quite make the show okay or easy for me. And I said to a couple of people, if she throws my fucking show, there's a she, sorry, whoops. If she throws my fucking show, then I'm going to have a go at her for the listeners that have come in and dedicated to listen to the show, and she's going to waste their time. So, but it turned out we built rapport real quick and she became a friend of it afterwards. So that was a pretty good thing then, luckily.
Well, we love you.
We do.
And shout out to Thunder Buddy, Mark. Shout out to my Thunder Buddy. I remember you, brother. And of course, Elvis. Man, I love it when he does that Johnny Carson.
Same.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, who's next?
I thought Rob was talking about me.
I missed that.
Wendy said,
you were talking about me being difficult. It's got to be me. It's got to be me. I wish I had music to play for your Love Fest, Rock. I would just be, But anyway.
Thank you, Wendy. We can make our own little Love Fest after.
Jesus.
Where is she? She's gone? She's gone to the bedroom to wait.
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who played Careless Whisper, but God bless you. I love that song. And
Wendy?
I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet I got no. I love that song. I love that song. Before I get to Rocksteady, Stephanie, I don't know much about you, but I can obviously tell that you're made for this, and your voice and everything. You got it going on. So keep it up. Keep it up. Seriously, I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Round of applause for Stephanie. She is my jam here. I mean it. She's such a wonderful person. This is on camera and off. She is how you see her now is how you get it. She's wonderful. I really, really rate you as a person, Steph. Honest to God.
Thank you.
You are just amazing and different. I know this shows you're interviewing me, but somehow you spun it round. I was supposed to do an interview on you first, but you spun it round to this.
I sure
God
did.
Damn it.
I sure did. And it worked too.
Well.
Come back soon, y'all.
On to you, Rocksteady. I know we just recently got acquainted with one another, but dude, I want you to know, man, people are looking, people are watching, people are listening. Do not give up on what you want to do, bro, because from the little information that I gathered, watching your social medias, you're made for this. Trust me, do not give up on your dreams. Hold on. Nadia, get back. Go back to your room. What's wrong with you?
You're talking to your wife?
I'm talking to my daughter. She just made
daughter, sorry.
Oh, no. No, if it would have been my wife, I'm like, maybe I was sorry. Anyways.
Attaboy.
Hey, you watch it now. No, but seriously, just a little quick testimony, man. Just all the hard work I did on my end as far as my music and stuff. I recently just been picked up at this local studio, and I'm getting paid to do everything I love, dude.
Congratulations.
So there's no reason why you can't do
That's
the
the
same
dream, man.
thing. Oh yeah, I don't know how I pulled it off, but I guess I became one of the Fireside creators, and I got a lot of access to do shows.
Congratulations. Welcome,
well
creator.
done.
That's awesome.
Man.
Congrats.
That's great. I mean, any of this crew here should really get a look in.
Awesome.
Shout out Stereo.
Thank you. That was so
well
nice.
Thank you, Pichu, man. Appreciate that.
Do we still, let's see, do we have the real skinny? We have Mark. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm sorry I was so quiet because the wife's sleeping in the bed. But Brock, you have done a lot of things that I wish I could do. But I have done things in my life. I started working for McDonald's when I was 13 years old, moved up to general manager in no time in corporate. And my dad passed away. He died from a heart attack. And when you said heart attack, my heart stopped. Yeah, babe. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
They get in trouble, man.
And I recently lost my eyesight 3 years ago. And I'm going to have surgeries to recover my surgery. And it scares me. But what you said has motivated me to be a stronger person. And I appreciate it. Thank you so very
man,
much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, brother. It's
You're
like these things touch my heart. You don't even understand when I have people saying this stuff, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, it's just me, It's just what we do, right? We just do that to help each other. So it's not coming from a place of anything but legitimate care and understanding. And if I guess there's a lot of people that have that, so I'm just surprised when people say it. I'm not saying I don't do it because I do, right? But the fact it makes an impacts me. So thank you all.
And since this is my show, I'm going to take a moment to say, hey, Mark, I am sorry about the loss of your dad. And I'm going to send you all the good prayers and the good vibes and good wishes for a very successful surgery and a good recovery. And we can't wait to see you back here after. You're going to be fine. You're going to do great.
Well done, man.
You're going to do great.
Well done. That's great.
You're going to do great.
Good luck,
Can I just give a quick shout out
Please.
to Rock? He is an amazing man and person and friend. I'm not just saying that. I've been, keeping up with him for, maybe like a year, I guess, maybe longer. I don't know, but he's amazing. He's a good father, husband, friend. He's very loyal and he inspires me and has showed me that I can break free from the shackles and just let the walls down and show who I am and be out there a little more on my social media. I'm taking it slow, but I feel like it's going to be okay and I don't need to be afraid. So he just makes me want to shine.
Wow.
Well done, Brianna. No, appreciate you so much. And by the way, Brianna's done a show with Raymond Palmer, the scientist that I did a show with, because she's really into biohacking. So go to her YouTube channel and check that out because she's done a great interview and you did fantastic, which I told you there at the time, Brianna. You need to do some more. So if you need help, let me know too, because we're talking about a beautiful, talented woman here with Brianna.
Aw. Hey, Brianna, here's to a 2022 with no shackles.
Yes.
No shackles.
Doesn't George Costanza do something? Where are the shackles? He does something like that, right?
Costanza. Yep.
I love him.
Bless Costanza. We have, I think the real skinny is next. Yes?
Hello.
Hey, Kentucky, what's happening?
Well, I'm from the good part of Kentucky, as you can tell from the accent. I'm sorry, Keith. But just to let you guys know on the brother and sister thing, you go on Keith's side of town, it's passable. Just saying, throwing it out there. Food for thought. But, everybody's being nice and gushy and all that bullshit. That's not my style. Rock, you're a prick. And in all reality, we all showed up to see Stephanie. I mean, come on. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not lie about it. And, apparently Wendy came to see you. She wants to get tangled up in your beard. That's
I want to get back at
it. About it. But, no, we love you, man. We do. And we respect you. And, Stephanie makes you look so much better. But anyway,
I don't disagree with you. Finally, I'm in agreement with you with one thing there, Skinny.
No, I love you, brother. There's a big heart behind them gigantic glasses and that great big bushy beard. And, we all know that. We've all had a taste of that, and that's why we keep hanging around, man. And we do appreciate you. And Steph, we appreciate you for bringing him up here tonight so we could have this love fest.
Oh,
and I think he kind of needed that for his confidence, and I think he pretty well knew how everybody felt about him, but now he definitely knows.
God, this is overwhelmingly wonderful. Like to see this, like I've asked people if you can attend this particular show. I always send my links out, but the fact people here and holding and the comments, the love, my God, it's again, the real reason. One of the reasons, there's many reasons, but one of the main reasons why I really wanted everyone to be here is I want Fireside to see who these people are that support here behind the scenes or even get involved with me. So just scroll through Fireside, you'll see, and there's a bunch of great content creators. I'm spewing that Benny Boom Boom's not here, I don't think, but he might be busy. He's got a funny sleeping pattern, but he just got accepted to Fireside, by the way. Benny Boom Boom just got accepted. So you're going to see some good shit coming here as well.
That is fantastic. I want to let me go to Deborah, and then Paul will come to you. Deborah Barsha, hi.
Hi.
Deborah.
Oh my God. I have to tell you, Rocksteady, what I cannot believe about that story I just heard. I am so blown. First of all, Stephanie, I don't know what was going on with that interview because you were just unbelievable. But Rock, I have to tell you, I cannot believe you once said these words to me. Let me pull over to the side of the road and help you out with your equipment.
That's right. Yes.
I heard that. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to pull over the side of the road to help me set up my equipment. Who is this guy? Because I've been coming to all your shows and I'm thinking, what a generous person. Like, this is insane. And that blew me away. And that
Thank you. I mean, to me, it was nothing, and to the fact that you get blown away blows me away. That's just amazing. Like, it's I like to get people up and running. I love this space. I want people to do well here. It's exciting. It's just, how can you not want to be in excitement all the time? That's what drives it, I think. So the fact you've got this beautiful sounding mic up and running like Steph does now is exciting. So everyone give Deborah a follow as well, please.
Anyway, I love
amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you. I love your shows. You see me pop in all the time.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thanks for the support, love. I appreciate that.
Aw, that was sweet. We're going to have Deborah on soon too. Paul Votto.
Yeah.
She's not going to sleep with you, Rock.
You cut out a bit. You cut out probably at the wrong time. Or maybe the right time.
I said Deborah's not going to sleep with you, so you know. Anyways, I don't know if you get it.
I got it that time.
Oh, Paul.
Maybe. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But anyways, wait, what?
I've been known to convert, Paul.
Shut up. I'm talking to my best friend, Rock.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck kind of name that is.
Okay,
All right,
Paul
Mom,
Votto.
I'll finish that when I'm done. Oh my God, my mom just fucking won't leave me alone. Jesus Christ. But Rock.
Paul Votto.
Buddy.
Behave, darling.
Yeah.
Oh,
darling, I can't.
Darling.
Rock, thank you. You know what? Welcome to this family, and it's amazing to have you. I can't possibly follow up all the wonderful things people said, but it's all true. It's all 100%. Man, you are one solid guy, and I love your business acumen, and I look forward to working with you. And he actually last night helped me. He started to help me create my artwork for an upcoming show that I have. So yeah, just like that. He's also. I'm also probably not going to sleep with you, but we'll see.
Can I get the artwork back then?
Yeah, I'll send it back.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul Votto, thank you for coming.
Yeah, catch my stand-up show right now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
No, give yourself a plug, Paul. You need to, man.
Plug away, darling.
And anyone that wants to join in as well, Paul Votto's got a channel which actually promotes things like this on Fireside. So it is on Clubhouse. It's called 24.7 SM. You can book yourself a spot to talk and promote yourself over on Fireside. So this is kind of one aspect we're trying to draw people over to here.
Well, bring it to Fireside, y'all. Do both. Like, do it and then tell people that you're never coming back until they come to Fireside. Like, this is y'all. This is the place to be. Y'all have figured that out, right? Like, you are in the place.
I know that, right?
I'm teasing.
I think that the networking place there brings the professionalism of shows here, So,
no question.
Like whatever platforms you can pull people from, pull people to this place.
100%. And and you're absolutely right. And I'm glad. Come one, come all. We're nice here. We take care of you here.
We're the best.
We are the best. I like that you said we.
It really is.
I like it.
Hands down, it's the best fucking platform. It's got everything you need. And you keep saying that there's things
more coming.
It's like
it's crazy.
Like, what else can they apply here? I mean,
I know, because your pilot and co-pilot are amazing. That's why.
Get me on the team. I want to know.
You are. You literally are. You're in the community. You literally are. Look at this show. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay, we have Chris Rossetti. Chris, good evening.
Chris, where is he though? Oh, yes, he's up there. Chris
from San Francisco.
Yes, thank you so much. I am in a Zoom meeting right now, my audio editing class at college, so I'm risking a failing grade to listen to you both. I want to say it's worth it. Thank you. But if I do fail, I need employment. So keep that in mind. I may be contacting you later if I get kicked out of the class. Also, I need to leave the stage because Chocolate Johnny's here, and there's a restraining order. He's issued a restraining order against me. So I need to go back to the audience. I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Stop eating his chocolate then.
Yikes. Oh my God. Did we get to everybody?
No, I did. I
we
actually
still
only
got-
cracked a joke. I would prefer to actually.
Oh, Wendy,
say
please.
something,
Yeah, please.
Because my joke was just a joke. It wasn't really a joke because I know he's talking about me. But Rock, it's really special the way I did it. We started the interview with me, and I just want to say that never in my life have I ever let anybody ask me questions like that, right? And it just kind of goes to the innate energy that you send out to the world, right? And that is something that I think people just automatically trust and love. And that's all I have to say. Because I'm speechless
Wendy.
about your journey is really remarkable with the heart attack and stuff. And I'd love to talk to you because I did go to the American Academy of Nutrition. I'd love to tell you why you should eat fish.
Sure.
But you're awesome. You are awesome. All joking aside, you're awesome. This is the biggest audience we've ever had here on Fireside Step. Don't you think?
Oh, wow.
I mean,
and that's not
stop
thanks to
it.
me. That's thanks to these people. Thanks to these people. You all know who you are, and take note because these people are amazing. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. Appreciate that interview, and we're going to do a part 2 real soon as well on Wendy. And maybe you have that feeling of trust because you can trust me because I'm trustworthy, and I respect people's boundaries is an important thing. If people are like, I don't want that out there, or don't ask this, I won't. That's definitely a respectful line that I won't cross. All right, we have the king there too.
Elvis.
He hasn't spoken.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Elvis, you were in Fuego in your last Shotgun Candy show. Elvis, did you hear what I said? That I was actually trying to put makeup on for my show coming up, and I had to get out of your show because you were on a roll. I swear, you were so funny.
I have to listen to that show. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Wendy, you have
Shotgun
it was
Candy episode
off
6, Strange
the
Addictions.
last. It was. Oh my God. Anyway, Elvis, welcome to the stage. You just.
Thank
oh
you
my
very
God.
much. I
That's
was,
my
I was
boy.
trying to. I was trying to stay on mute, and I'm arguing with my cat because I did get a lot of good content and jokes from my cat, but he's acting crazy now. So, I was trying to think of something witty and funny and some kind of a burn to say about Rocksteady, but I can't come up with anything negative to say about him. Not even jokingly. He's just a good guy all around, and I talk to him on a regular basis, like on voice chats and stuff on the phone, and. I mean, what you see is what you get. This is the guy. He is who he is all the time. This is not an act at all. He's just this solid of a dude. And if me and I can't even say it. I don't even know what to say.
Lost
he
for
just
words,
blows me
Elvis.
away
I don't hear
with,
that often, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rocksteady, you're like closer than I have actual brothers, and you're like closer to me than my actual brothers, and not just blowing smoke. This for real. I love this man. No homo unless he's into that, and we'll see what happens after lockdown. No, it's he's a good dude, and it's well deserved. He puts in all the work, man. I mean, none of this stuff just fell in his lap. If you want to do anything similar or close to the quality that he's doing, you got to put work in, and he's going to be the first guy to tell you that. It's just not going to come easy. I mean, it's a fight every day to do this. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I mean, just look at the love the guy's getting. And, if you're passionate about it and you really love doing it, then you got to do it.
Yeah.
And success will come if you stay true to yourself. And that's why people are attracted to Rocksteady, because he's true to himself.
Yeah.
I've never
Thank you,
never
man.
heard him.
I love you the same, brother. Like a fucking brother, man. Like, it's crazy how close There's a handful of people I'm close with online that are really close, and like Elvis is one of those people that's just the front runner, right? That I'm just like more than a brother, you know. And we've never met in real life. How bizarre! We speak all the time, almost daily. It's just beyond words, man.
Yeah, I wake up in the middle of the night and I write shit down like, oh, this will be good for the show. I got some ideas, and we're working on things pretty much 24/7. Like our brains, whether we're physically writing it down or mixing the song down or whatever we do, behind the scenes, it's 24/7. I mean, we're living this. It's kind of like I said, we're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off.
I love it.
Hopefully, we
Down,
turn
baby.
around and see a caravan of people ready to help us put new wheels on it so we can keep on going. You know what I'm saying?
And Elvis, it's clear.
There's one saying I say there. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rock. Go ahead.
No, just to add to what he says, there's one thing I say that we. No, but I ain't stopping until I get to the top. That's the dream. That's the focus here, and it's with all these good people around me as a collective, like as a network of people. So sorry, what were we going to say there, Steph?
I know, Elvis. I tried. You know what I mean? But I got cut off. Okay, so I was going to say.
Rock, hit the music.
Go ahead.
Hit the music, Rock. All right, tell me slowly, Stephanie.
Okay, Elvis. So what I was going to say is that what I love about Shotgun Candy, because again, your last show was just fantastic, but the true love and adoration and respect that the three of you have for each other comes through because you're super funny, but you work hard at creating great content. Like you do a great job at the content you create, but part of the magic is that you don't have to work hard at liking each other. Like you guys are like blood brothers, and it comes across in everything you do, the way that you communicate during your show, the jokes you make there, it flows because of that chemistry. And I think that is the magic that you can get here, not only because of Rocksteady and Elvis and all of you here and here with us in the audience, but this purpose of Fireside here is to harness and grab that magic that everybody here has to produce and offer an environment where it thrives. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean, it is, and the video, Elvis, the video aspect for y'all in Shotgun Candy is off the hook. I mean, your intro music and Elvis, the way that you've got the light in the back of you, and then it's just the drama and it's amazing. Like that video aspect for your creating is unbelievable. Yep, there it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's it. That's it.
A lot of stuff. Don't stifle accidents. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
totally
Bob Ross, the painter, when he's like, we don't have mistakes. We have happy little accidents.
Exactly.
Like my whole thing was an accident. Like the whole imagery, like Rocksteady's is all put together. Like he looks good. He's a handsome guy. He works out, cares about his appearance, and probably bathes regularly. Things like that. I just kind of I accidentally turned on the camera one time, and I was just like, oh, look at that.
Is that Elvis? Is that true?
What's that?
Is that true that was actually kind of an accident? Is that true?
It was, because I was working on something like grand thing, and I was like, you know what? I don't need all the flash in the show, and plus I was really lazy. I was putting it off to the last minute, and so I knocked the light over behind the flag, and I was like, there it is. It's like that moment.
My
like,
God.
Holy shit! Look at that. So
yeah, that's how that happened. That's amazing.
Pretty much. Yeah. I just had a not really a spotlight, but I was trying to get the lighting just right. I had some Christmas lights strung up and the whole thing, making it look all crazy. And I cut the lights out and that light fell over behind, and I was like, that's it.
Oh my God, that's
in front of that flag.
Great story. It works. It's amazing.
Is it still laying? Did you pick it up? You never had to pick it up. It just fell over. You left it there, and that's your perfect set because it is awesome. It's super awesome.
It is. Thank you. Well, I learned how to lean it back against the wall, so I don't have to break the bulb every time I want to do it. Yeah. So I just pretty much just moved it. I moved it from I had out back in my house. I had a shed where I was going to do everything and soundproof and all that, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do it in the basement.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's in the basement. I sit on a couch and I got a rug and then some other sound dampening things around, but. I haven't even got my whole full setup yet, so hopefully everybody can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you're the king, man.
Thank you. We're moving on. It's going to be every week everything's going to improve, and the one thing we have solid is the camaraderie between the three of us. AC,
Totally.
Rocksteady, and myself, and the other boys on the comedy show. We're working that out.
Joey Butts and Keith Burr.
Joey Butts is one of the funniest guys I know. Keith Burr also one of the funniest guys I know. They're great creative dudes, and Paul Votto, he's also just a great guy, super guy. He's filthy dirty though. Don't
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, always have a third person in case you need an alibi or something. Just saying.
That's awesome.
But back to the Rocksteady Love Fest. But I mean, he's a good dude, and every show. I mean, I rarely go back and listen to myself, but I go back and listen to it for like your input, because when you're living it, it kind of goes by so quick.
Yeah,
you miss
yeah.
things, and then every time I go re-listen, I'm laughing out loud at us, and I'm like, I feel kind of pretentious, like we're hilarious, But sometimes we scrutinize ourselves. I think re-listening to your own stuff.
Yeah,
it's just gonna.
We're our hardest critics. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Because every time, man, we do a post-show phone call, and sometimes we're just like, oh, that sucked, man. Oh, there's so many things we can improve.
We need to improve in this area. Like we analyze every show. I go back and pretty much every show I listen to, and we'll scrutinize. Like that was great. Like what was good in that, or that needs improvement, and we need more interaction here. And so we try to break it down to perfect them show by show. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think of like great baseball players, like even Babe Ruth struck out, and he sucked his first season. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you just got to keep going with it. If you're really passionate about it, you stick with it, and the recognition's going to come, and then the admiration's going to come, and then hopefully money will come, because you just got to stay true to it. You got to set your goals to do it because you love doing it, and then you'll be successful. And I'm like Rocksteady. I'm not really a big fan of money. Obviously, we put a lot of hours in for, I'm not worried about getting money for it. I just love doing it, and I love talking to my friends. And I love it.
I like that as well. And I want to incorporate the income part too, though. That's important for me, because that allows me to. And it's not all about the money, though. It's just a factor. And
no, I understand.
Just by having just enough to survive, so we can create content nonstop, and then something big will come from that.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm going to slap a check at anybody's hand. I'm just saying that's not the driving force. The driving force is to let your creative juices flow and get out. If you have something to say, that's the best thing. That's why the Shotgun Candy Show is so fun. For me, I look forward to researching this because I love researching things. And the three of us, we pick a topic, or the day after the show, or the day of the show, post show, not for the next week. And then we just take a week and we look into it. We watch videos, read books or whatever, talk to people. And we don't speak about it before we do it. That's why we just have
good.
It's just a natural conversation. Three crazy dudes talking about some crazy thing.
It's awesome.
And it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And I like it over here on Fireside. Hopefully one day I'll become a real creator.
Yeah, we got to get that saying.
It's going.
Benny just got made overnight. My time.
I'm like a hang around guy. I'm not even a made man yet. But
you're not a hang around dude. We're happy that we're very happy that you're here.
We're
very happy. Very happy.
Well, I think it feels like home here, and part of that is Rock really pushed us to move over to here, and when look at the followers, everybody that was. I mean, we got quantity and quality in the people that came over here with us.
Yeah.
And, God bless everybody that's listening, and all you guys that followed us over from the old other shithole app that I'm never going to mention. This is the place right here. And don't be afraid to go on camera. I mean, look at me. I'm out there right in front of everybody all the time.
Not really, but kind of.
Well,
but it's awesome.
Be yourself. That's the only thing I say.
Yeah.
Coming from a guy who's been dead for 44 years, just be yourself.
Right. Be authentic.
Yeah, be authentic. So no, I mean, this is Rocksteady knows me, and I know him, and like I said, he's like my brother, and I love that man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Love you too, brother. I just want to say because I know you want to wrap it up, Steph. I've got a message here from.
I'll keep talking. I'm on mute.
Brother, man. No, thank you for jumping up,
too,
Elvis,
Stephanie,
man. You mean the world to me, and I appreciate that that you're here doing this with me, man. This ride's wild. It's going to get wilder. We've got a message from Tyne Whiskers. Sorry, here we go.
Whispers.
This is an odd moment when Elvis is at a loss for words. Very funny.
This is true. So yeah, we've got 5 more text messages here on the screen, or screen messages, I'll call them. It's Kentucky for a reason, as Keith Burr says. Keith says, Skinny, you mean you don't have a hot cousin? Sorry about your crappy genes. Pichu, Rock, I sent a DM. Please read. Yeah, I read it, man. I'll have to get back to you after the show. And Sammy says, Elvis, I'm pretty sure that the cat has a sword and a voice. Let him speak. His cat at home, because Elvis is always around. Well, the other day on the show with the Strange Addictions, he said pussy, and he pulled up his cat at the time. So yeah, that was nice. So okay, throw it back to you, Steph.
Well, I guess the punchline is we're just really happy that you're here. The punchline is that everybody's fallen in love with you, which it just seems like this just happens to you wherever you go. And I genuinely want to say thank you. Thank you for doing this show with me. Thank you for having this conversation with me. I think, we're making some just fantastic forever friendships here. And I just can't wait to see what you continue to do here, Rock. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for taking the time for this interview. And thank you to Fireside. So Fallon and Mark have built something here. And I'm sure that Fallon's really a driving force behind it. She's got quite a resume. And she's envisioned something really nice here and brought it to life. And it gives us a platform to do the things that we do. And I can't even think about what's to come. So I'm excited. That's why I want to get in on the goddamn team, as in like behind the scenes. I want to know. It's killing me. I'm bursting at the seams. No, really. I'm not doing any shows to you. No, I'm joking. No, but I want to know. I want to say again, special shout out to the audience. I'm going to just run through them again before we leave, if that's okay, Steph.
Please.
We've got Bryce, Sarah, Core. We've got Stefan, Kavi, Jenny, Malika, Lionel. We've got Daniel, Hans, Isidro, Peter, Tankalicious, David, Lolly, Video Girl, M Spectacular, Charlie, Shani, Zoe. We've got Tyne, Dave, Stephanie, you're here. That's good. We've got Jared Legends, Keith Burr, the Real Skinny, Paul Vardo, Pichu, Natalie, Brianna, Rob, Mark Thunder, Mrs. Red Rose, Chris, Truthful Sweet, Julie Prunes, it's late in the UK too, and there's a few people from the UK here, like Charlie and stuff, so thank you for joining. Sammy's in here, Uncle Eddie, Deborah, Elvis, Wendy, and Fallon. So Fallon's here. Hi, Fallon. I think I was just talking about you a second ago. You must have just said that.
Yeah. Yep. See, she just appeared.
I just appeared. Your ears were burning.
Well, I think...
Thank you very much.
I'm happy. I was happy to do it. I think you're a wonderful, welcome addition. All of these people love you. It's obvious why. You're amazing at building a community. You're amazing at building shows. The professionalism that you push forward with in every single brand vertical that you've created in these different shows is amazing. You're already doing one-on-one interviews with people, so it's amazing. So just keep going. We can't wait to see what else you do. Can't wait to see it. And I really do want to thank everyone here who joined us here live on Fireside. Thank you so much for all of the love for Rocksteady. I know it's easy to give. And, I don't have to bring Waitbot up.
No, you don't have to bring weight. We can end it out with a massive applause from the audience. Kaylee's just joined.
Let's do it.
I was speaking about it before. Massive applause for the ending, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Be sure to bring people to Fireside. Tell your friends and tell them to tell their friends. Come to Fireside. Let's do it.
Let's do it, y'all. Everybody have a great night.
Guys.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, Steph. Thank you.
My app is freezing. Hold on. I can't. Wait, sorry. I'm laughing because, okay, I really am going to end it now. Okay. Take care, everybody. We'll talk. I think, oh my God. Hold on. It's you guys, you can hang out as long as you. The app is freezing. Hold on. I think that you're, yep. Seriously. Yep. I can't. I can't. Hold on. This screen. I can't make this up. I can't. You're just going to sit here and listen to me laugh. End the show. I can't. Okay, are you... You guys, I can't even see the stage as Rocstedi even here anymore. I can't even...
I should be paying attention. I'm like, wait, why am I still here? What's going on? I thought you ended the show.
Because it froze. Oh my God. Okay. It's frozen.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Paul, Vato, and Stephanie show. Leave the show. Bye.
Okay, well, you can leave. I can't leave. Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Okay, Steph, can you hear me? All you have to do is swipe in and out the app, and it should fix it.
Yeah, I know. I did that about 3 times. I'm going to keep trying.
Oh, you've done that? Can you give me moderator, and I'll end the show.
No, honey, I can't. The app's frozen. I can't. Hold on.
Okay,
We're gonna just try a couple things. Hold on.
We can all just sit here
Oh my
and play
God.
Careless Whisper.
Okay. Okay, now let's try. This is such the classic way to end the show. I can't even. I'm laughing hysterically because I've tried. Okay, let me try now. Oh my God. This is so classic. Okay, hold on. Let's see if it works.